Hello guys and welcome to my third tutorial. In today's video I'm gonna show you how I made this. Yes, so let's get started. So first off, in After Effects we're gonna create a new composition. So create a new composition, 1920 by 180, 60 frames per second, 20 seconds. Okay. Create a new solid. You can call this BG because it's background. Take like a light color, almost white but not really white. Another solid. This one is the sound keys, which will generate the keyframes that will connect to the sphere you saw. So yeah, import an audio track. I will take the same song as you saw in the video, heard in the video, which is broken. So grab it in. I'm gonna rename it to track so we can, So go over here and search for sound keys. Just drag it over to the sound keys layer. In audio layer, select your track. So first off now, I'm just gonna find where the drop is. So often you can see it in the audio waves. Let's see. I think, as you see, it goes up, 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 and then it goes down. So I would guess the drop is like here. Oh, I was right. Take the sound keys and I'm gonna take it over here because I heard this in the track and I want that, so like here somewhere maybe, I don't know. Let's play it back again. I would say a little bit higher because we got some distort. Yes, and as you can see, it's over a little bit here and we don't want that. So if we just go right before the drop, we take this mark with us, the sound keys won't generate keyframe behind this, I don't know what to call it, mark thing. So we can have it, you can leave it there and you can still play back here. So yeah, let's go on to the next thing. We can just hide the sound keys layer and create a new solid. This will be the tau solid. So go over here, type tau and drag the effects over to this solid. And we get this. You can actually hide this background layer because it's kind of light. Go to segments and we're gonna type, you can just follow my lead here as in my previous video, and just follow my lead, and when we're done you can just play around with the settings by yourself. But for this tutorial I'm just gonna do my thing. So yeah, we're done in the segments tab. Go over to repeat paths. First repeater, 10 repetitions, 0 in the position X, and 38 exactly in the X rotation to get this sphere thing. I don't know what to call it. Yeah. Let's go over to material and lighting, and we want a darker, not that, actually light gray sphere, and diffuse softness to 120. And over here you want to go to smooth, you want to go to 1500, and here you want to go to like 530. That's good. And image based lighting, you can change that to dark industrial, or I don't know how to pronounce that. I think I did this exactly same mistake to pronounce that wrong in my last video. However, and the reflection strength to 60. Done here. Go over to world transform and put it back a little bit. Now we can turn on the background layer because we can't see anything. Yes, it's a little bit dark. Just gonna add some brightness. 40 and 15 and some exposure. Just 0.5, and we can minimize them. Yeah. Next, we want to create a light. So new light, and I'm gonna go with this orange. Yes. So now we have like the base model. Yeah. So now we have the model. So now we want to connect it. So go to tau, fractal displacement, change from regular to multi, and go. Let's see now. We want. I think actually we want evolution. Go to the end of the timeline, type in 10,000, and go over to sound keys, go to range 1, and we have our settings here that we did for like 5 minutes ago, and change the fall off mode from instant to exponential, and from, oh, we're gonna see, I would say 300. So from 0 to 300, and apply like that, and go over to tau, double click the amplitude and hold Alt while clicking amplitude, and take the pip tool down to output 1. Yeah, so let's see how it looks now. Yeah, that looks good. So create a new camera and a new null object. Can rename it this to control. Make the null a 3D layer and take the pick whip tool from camera layer up to the control, and go to scale, and let's see, 120. We're gonna use range 2 now, but we are gonna use the exactly same positioning data because we want it to react to the same thing. So you can just copy paste and choose exponential from 120 to 90. I think that will do it. Maybe if we go to tau again, material lighting, and just crank this up to like 30, 50. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So 120 to 90. So go to sound keys, custom on the range 2, 120 to 90. And press apply again, and press U on the keyboard, Alt, press stopwatch, take the pivot tool to output 2 this time. Okay, that looks good. It's a little bit bright, so I'm gonna take this down to like 250, maybe less, 220. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so we have a model, and it's reacting with fractal displacement, and it's also popping with scale. So we also want this cool effect when it gets dark, and like inverted colors, and that is exactly what it is, inverted colors. So create an adjustment layer. I'm gonna call it invert, and go to effects and search for just the effect invert, and change from RGB to lightness, and we want it 100, it's normal, and it gets inverted when it's on 0. So I want it to get inverted with the music. So go with sound keys, enable range 3. Do the same thing, just copy paste the position data. Like that, and go over here. And this time I want instant, because I just want it to blink real fast. I don't want it to fade out. So instant, and from 100 to 0. And press apply. And go over to invert, double click blend with original, and press U on the keyboard. Alt click blend with original, drag the pip tool all the way down to output 3. Yes. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, so as you can see, when it's inverted, the colors are not the best. So I'm gonna go over to material lighting, and in reflection strength, in this image-based lighting, if I increase it, it looks a little bit better. So I would say like 500, but when it's not inverted, that doesn't look good. So we want it to invert when the music comes. So we have used all these ranges, so we need to duplicate this sound keys layer. Press U and turn off all these outputs. Rename it to reflect. Oops. And just disable range 3 and range 2. We only need range 1. And change from exponential to instant. And on this custom, 60 as normal and 500 when music comes in. Press apply. Press U on the keyboard, go to tau, double click reflection strength, alt click the stopwatch, drag the pip tool all the way down to output 1. Let's see how it looks now. Yeah, that looks good. So we are close, but in the beginning it's not happening anything. So let's fix that. Yeah, first off, we want a cool thing. So I'm gonna fix a cool thing. So look here, we're gonna find right before the drop. Like there. Go into tau, world transform, and just press all these 3 keyframes on rotate, and press U on the keyboard to see them, and actually from 0 at the timeline, sorry for that. And when it's here, right before, like, woo, it sounds like a time reverse effect. You will hear it right now. Oh, it was like here. Yeah, so when it's there, I want it to be like 600 and 180 there, and 0 on rotate C, and like right before, no, on the first, like there, I want it to be 360 and 600 and 0. and go to the end of the timeline and just type 3000. All of these. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, it's a little bit rigid. So go to the graph editor, which is this little button over here, and press the V-rotate X. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. As we can see, this is it. Go over here and press Easy Ease. Drag this yellow, I don't know what to call it, and just like that, maybe a little bit more. And this green, which is rotate Y, Easy Ease, drag the yellow thing like that, which should give it a little bit cooler effect. Oh, the whirl was a little bit earlier, so maybe. Oh, actually, like here. Yeah, so that's awesome, and now we're gonna do another cool thing. I'm gonna type in brightness, brightness and contrast, add it to the invert adjustment layer, and duplicate that layer, and go over to the tau, press U to get up the keyframes, go over to the invert and add keyframes on brightness, on contrast, on both, not on that one, and go over to the keyframes where rotate, yeah, these middle keyframes, and you can press U on the invert layer, and type, no, it's supposed to be 0 here too, so go over to the next keyframes on the rotate, and brightness minus 150 and contrast on 70, which will make it dark. Not dark enough though. Oh yeah, add a CC vignette. Yeah, that's okay. It doesn't have to be like real dark, it just have to be darker. Yeah, and when it's popping right there, boom, I want it to be 0, 0, 0, but you can leave one of these on 70 because it gives a cooler effect. So yeah, now if we're looking, so now let's see. Ooh, that looks good. Yeah, so almost done. We're just gonna let's see. First off, I want to show you how I made my shadow. And go to project. You have our composition, this composition here. Press Command D or Control D, and you get this comp 2. Call it shadow. Yeah, and drag it over to our comp. Just disable the sound in this comp and go over here and delete the background from the shadow. And in our main comp also just hide tau for some seconds. And go over to effects and presets and type drop shadow, or just drop and take the drop shadow and put it on our shadow comp. First off, go over here in distance, change it to 0 and press shadow only, and go over to our shadow pre-comp, just press this 3D layer, go to scale, type 120 and go over to rotation and X rotation minus 90. Go over to position and drag this down like there. Now you can just enable the tile layer again, and go over here and type like 400 on the softness. As you see now, you have a shadow, good looking shadow. So yeah, and one last thing. If you go to invert layer and you go over here and you type CC force motion blur, this will give it a little bit blur when there is some fast things happening, like in a real life camera. You can actually see it if I just type 360 here. You see it's blurry, which will give it a much more realistic look. And before you're rendering out, guys, go over to File, Project Settings, and make sure that color settings is set to 32 bits per channel, which will make it the colors a lot more smoother. So don't forget that. Yeah, let's see how this looks. Yes, so that is the final product. Of course, it will look a lot better when you're rendering out. I'm just previewing in half quality right now, because I'm using like screen recorder, and so it's lagging a lot. But yeah, thanks for this, guys, and I've been making 3 tutorials now, and I will continue making tutorials. I will make tutorials every Wednesday for you guys, and I love to get like comments. Just subscribe if you want to see more like this. Yeah, thanks for this, and see you next Wednesday. Bye.
In my head.